This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so good morning and good evening once again to everyone. Today's session is all about the LoadRunner performance testing tool demo. So I'll quickly mention the points or the agenda for today. So the first thing that we will be discussing today is what is performance testing. Okay. Second point, what we'll be discussing today is specific to LoadRunner, specific to LoadRunner architecture. Okay, because there are multiple tools. Okay, there are multiple tools, and we are going to learn LoadRunner. So that's the reason. The second point will be LoadRunner architecture, and then we are going to do a small practical, uh, you know practical example of how to record and replay the script. Okay, how to record and replay the script. Okay, then we will discuss about the LoadRunner course content. Okay, LoadRunner course content, and then I will give time for all of you to post your questions either through the chat window or through directly as well. So in between, if you have any questions, right? You can make a note of those questions at your end, or you can post it directly in the chat window. I will address all those questions one by one, at the end of the demo session. So first, we'll complete the first 4 points, okay, and then we'll focus on the Q&A. So, what do you mean by performance testing? Okay, so if I have to explain that, I'll just take a couple of minutes. Okay,
Hello,
uh, yeah, tell me.
hello, trainer. Is it okay for a brief introduction about you, please?
Uh,
Some
I
people might want to
I
know
did
you.
that. Maybe I was on mute. I guess. 1 second.
Yeah.
I think I was on mute. Yeah, I was on mute at that point of time. Okay, so my name is Krushik. Okay, so I have around almost 13 years of experience in IT, specifically into automation and performance engineering. So I'll be your LoadRunner trainer for for this batch. So so you can get in touch with me. I'll be available on WhatsApp. All the time. I'm already there in that WhatsApp groups. So else you can ping me directly or call me directly as well. Okay. So that's a short introduction about me. So coming back to this uh, agenda, what do you mean by performance testing? I was just looking at one of the slide here, right? So what do you mean by software testing? Okay, so here if you observe, there are two aspects here. One is the functional testing, the other one is the non-functional testing. So coming to the functional testing, okay, I know, some of you, might be already working on the manual testing part, or some of you might be coming from automation background, or some of you might be completely new to IT. Okay, but then functional testing is all about testing the functionality of the application, like for what purpose the application was developed. Is that serving the purpose or not? We will be testing the functionality. So the core the core part is to test the functionality of the application. So in this aspect again, okay, we have something like regression testing, integration testing, and so on. The major tools that we use are something like Selenium, UFT, that means the micro focus unified functional testing, so etc. So you might have heard about these tools in the market as well, Selenium, UFT, and all, right? And coming to the non-functional testing, okay, it's not primarily focused on testing the functionality of the application. Rather, it will focus on the non-functional aspects like performance, security, etc. So if you see, with respect to performance testing, the tools that we use is LoadRunner, JMeter, etc. We have multiple tools like LoadRunner, JMeter, Gatling, NeoLoad, etc. But the most widely used tools are LoadRunner and JMeter, okay, because they have a major share in the market when compared to other tools available. Okay, so we will be primarily focusing on the non-functional aspects. The performance testing is all about testing the non-functional aspects of the application like performance. Okay, like how fast the application is responding, how fast the pages are loading. Like if you click a link, generally you open any website, right? What do? Either you click a link or you click a button, right? So how fast it is navigating from one page to another page. So that's more about the performance. Okay, so we'll be focusing as a performance tester, we'll be much more interested in that aspect. Okay, then what if performance testing is not done, or why performance testing is important? Okay, so if you think from business perspective, if performance testing is not done, okay, it can directly impact the financial, the financial thing. Okay, so if the applications are slow, okay, then what can happen? The users can switch from one app to another app. Okay, there are so many applications available nowadays, right? So if one application is very slow, its performance is very poor, then obviously the customers will move from one app to another app, which will result in the financial loss to the business. So it's a very, very important aspect, right? So it's so if you remember, I guess in 2014 or 2013, one of the e-commerce company, or e-commerce, they announced a big sale for the first time. I think so. For the first time, they announced a big sale or some holiday sale or something like that. uh, because it was first time, they didn't expect so many number of people, huge number of people, accessing the application. They didn't expect those many number of users. So for the very first time, when they announced the big sale, because of huge number of users accessing the application crashed. Okay, so that's the reason the performance testing, the performance aspect is very, very important. Will the application be able to withstand the amount of users or the amount of load, okay, they put on the application? Okay, so if performance testing is not conducted, then applications might face problems like slowness, pages loading forever, inconsistency, and may further result in business loss as well. Okay, that's the main reason why we have to do performance testing, because it has a direct impact on the financial part. Okay, so uh, just adding to this, one more point is, why do we do the performance testing is to find the performance issues, okay, rather than finding functional issues. Okay, so functional issues, the functional testing team will take care, the manual testing team will take care, or the automation testing team will take care. But the performance issues, no, as we have to take care from the performance team perspective. In performance testing terminology, the performance issue, whatever whatever the issue, we call it as a bottleneck. The term we use here is bottleneck. Okay, so generally if someone is asking, uh, what are the performance issues that you observed? So the basic thing, that basic or the most frequently observed performance issues are slowness, application slowness. Like the application, freezing, application loading slowly, application not responding. Okay, and then you can also see application crashing. These are all the functional issues or the functional bottlenecks, we call it as. Okay, so how do you find out all of these? How do you take them to take them to development team to fix it? Okay, okay, all these things we will learn in our course. Okay, so that is about the importance of performance testing. What happens if we are not conducting the performance testing? Okay, so okay, so without any further delay, we will discuss about the tool itself directly, because this course is all about LoadRunner, right? As I said, there are many tools in the market, but the major share is for the LoadRunner tool and the JMeter tool. So let me open the slide where we discuss about the LoadRunner architecture. Okay, so what is this tool about? How the architecture looks like? Okay, what are the different components it has? Okay, what is the purpose of each component? Okay, so what are the things that we will learn from this course? How is it different from other tools? We'll try to understand. Okay, now the architecture diagram over here, I'm not going to directly show the or present the diagram, but we will derive the diagram out of some questions. Okay, so let's say there is an application, maybe take anything like a bank application or whatever it is. So generally, uh, obviously, like morning 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. in the morning, more number of people, that means the max number of people access the bank application. Okay, assume for that. Okay, so what are those? For example, if I ask you to test the bank application, I mean, if I ask you to do a performance testing for the this bank application, okay, with 500 users, 500 people, how do you do that? So will you bring 500 people and give them and ask them and make them sit at one place and give them 500 laptops or desktops and ask them to sign in or log into the bank application at the same point of time? Is it possible, just to do that manually? Might be for 500 users, but it involves a huge financial investment. Okay, let's say we can do it with 500, but what if I have to test the bank application with 5,000 people, so 5,000 users? So I cannot bring 5,000 people and make them sit and assign them laptops and ask them to log into bank application and perform some actions on that. I cannot do that. So that's the reason we have one component, okay, which we call it as load generator. The load generator component is primarily responsible to simulate the virtual users for us. So the virtual users are, uh, you know, they actually simulate the actions whatever the real user do. Okay, so let's say like clicking a button, clicking a link, selecting some value from a drop down. Okay, like whatever the general actions that you do on a UI web page UI, those actions these users will continue to do. So instead of testing the application with real users, we are because we have to use a tool, and this tool is providing us the component called load generator, and this is mainly responsible to simulate virtual users. So these virtual users, okay, uh, they we can simulate like n number of users depending on the machine capacity. So load generator is also a machine, but with some good configuration. Okay, some good configuration, like the configuration will be on the much higher side. Okay, when you compare with the normal machines. So load generator is also a machine, but with a very good configuration, like it can generate so many users. Okay, so many users, so like 16 GB ram, 32 GB ram, something like that. Okay, so this component is primarily responsible to simulate virtual users. So virtual users will perform the actions on the UI like how a normal user do, right? So this is the purpose of load generator. Let's say you have the load generator ready, then what else you need? For bank application, if you want to test the performance, you need to identify some scenarios, which you feel that the performance is very, very important for those. See, for any application, there will be some critical scenarios or some normal scenarios. Let's say for bank application, one of the very important critical scenario is a transfer money. So if a user is not able to transfer money, then it will be having a huge loss, right? So it's very important action or the scenario. So generally, what are the steps that are involved for transfer money? So the first step is launching the application. Okay, for the transfer money scenario, I'm just mentioning the steps, sequence of steps. Then you log into the application. Then you navigate to your account. Basically, you might have multiple accounts, right? That's the reason. Then you can say, then you can choose a beneficiary. Okay, you can choose a beneficiary. Then you can enter some amount and basically click transfer. Okay, then you can log out. So these are the possible steps if you want to transfer money from one account to another account. So how do you perform these steps? Okay, through the tool. I mean, the users, how they perform these steps. See, load generator is generating the users for you, but how those users will run these steps? So for that, you need a component which will allow you to develop a script for these sort of steps or record a script for these sort of steps, which you can run or replay again and again. Okay, that component is called Vuegen. Okay, that component is called Vuegen. Vuegen component is primarily responsible for developing the scenarios, developing the steps or developing the scenarios or developing the actions. Okay, or you can say recording the actions, and which you can replay again and again n number of times. Okay, so let's say I want to run a transfer money scenario with 50 users, so these 50 users will perform all these steps, and then we will analyze like how the application is responding. So when 50 users are performing transfer money, we have to analyze like how the application is responding. Okay, so that's the primary aspect, to analyze the performance. So how fast the application is responding for the actions we perform on the UI. Okay, that's what the performance testing is all about. Okay, the basic thing, right? It has many other things to analyze, but the basic thing is to analyze about how fast it is responding. Okay, then you have the Vuegen component ready, which is used to develop or record the script. That's fine, that's great. Then when you have this script ready, how do you what is the next step that you do? Then you need a component which should allow you to upload these scripts and then a kind of trigger the execution. Okay, so it's all about the execution, right? After execution only we can analyze. So till here we are developing the script. The next step we will be focusing on the execution. So there should be some component which should allow us to or trigger the execution. So that component is called controller or performance center. Okay, so this component is primarily responsible to upload these scripts to controller. Whatever the scripts that we develop in Vuegen, we will upload those scripts into controller. Okay, and then we can trigger the execution based on the requirement. Okay, we will discuss in detail about how the requirements will come, how we create, how we upload the scripts and all those things later. But I'm just telling you at a high level, like what is the purpose of this component. So it's all about uploading scripts into controller and then creating your scenario and then triggering the execution and so on. Then once you execute, let's say once the execution is complete, then you need some component which should assist us in analyzing the results. See, analyzing is very, very important. Like, of course, developing or recording the script is important, because without script you cannot run. Without running you cannot analyze. Everything is important, but at the end of the day, what client will see or what the development team will see or expect from us is to provide a detailed analysis. like what went right and what went wrong as part of your performance test, right? So that's the reason there's a component called an analysis, which is primarily focused or primarily responsible to analyze the results. Okay, after execution, it will clearly analyze the results and assist us in preparing a detailed report. It has a very good feature of providing, various graphs, the various metrics, in a graphical representation. Okay, so which will assist us in providing creating a detailed report. So in short, these are the various components that we have in the LoadRunner architecture. Okay, there is one more term that we call it as agent process. Okay, which I will explain you okay in our upcoming session. Okay, so what agent process will do, how it is linked between these components, we will discuss again. So primarily the important components or the major components are load generator, viewgen, controller or performance center, and then analysis. These are the major components along with the agent process. So once you install LoadRunner in your machine, okay, so viewgen, controller or performance center, analysis, agent process, all these things will be installed. Will be installed. Okay, I'll show you like where those components will be and all those things. Okay, this is about LoadRunner architecture. Please do make a note of all the questions you have. Okay, we will discuss in detail. Now, the next thing that we are going to learn or understand is how to from the agenda part. Like we have discussed what is performance testing, and then we have discussed about LoadRunner architecture. Okay, so how do you record and replay the script? So generally I told you, right, some of the steps here. These steps: launch application, login, navigate to your account. Like these are some of the steps for transfer money scenario, right? How do you record and replay that script? Okay, so what is the component that is used for development of the script? Viewgen, right? So viewgen is the component that is used to develop the script or record the script. So what we'll do is we will launch this viewgen component now, and then we will record a small 2 or 3 steps and see how the script is getting recorded, and then we'll replay and we'll see what it is giving us in as part of the analysis. Okay, analysis in sense what is that it is giving us the viewgen after replaying. So let's do it. So how do you launch this component viewgen? As I said, once you install LoadRunner, this viewgen, controller or performance center, analysis, all these components will be installed. So you have to launch viewgen now if you want to record and replay the script. So if you go to search, if you type viewgen, okay, after installation, it will come up like this icon. So click on this icon, virtual user generator, this icon. Okay, just type viewgen, it will show up, and just click on it. Okay, so you'll see this sort of screen as soon as you launch viewgen. So click on file, go to new script and solution, select new script and solution, and then you have to choose a protocol. We will discuss in detail, in this week about these protocols. Okay, so for all the web applications, we choose this protocol called web HTTP HTML. Okay, so for now, I'm going to select the same thing, and here I'm going to choose the location where I want to save these scripts. Okay, I'm going to create a new folder. Okay, so let me create a new folder. So let's say the folder name is uh, lr underscore 8am underscore December underscore. Okay, so something like that, some folder I created. Okay, so here it is. Okay, this is a folder that I created in D drive. Okay, so here the script name, what I'm going to give it as, let's say demo, because we are just going to record some demo script, right? So I gave some name as demo, and then click on create. We'll discuss all other things later, but just give script name and then give location where you want to save the script and then click on create. So it will create a blank script, empty script. You don't have any code or anything as such because we didn't record anything as of now. Okay, so once you create a script, you will see on the left hand side, this is a solution explorer where you have multiple options, like related to passing of test data, like uh, updating the settings, or having these actions. Okay, so we'll see all of these, what is the solution explorer and all those things we'll discuss in our upcoming session. So this space here is for the recorded script. Like once you record the flow, right, the script will be generated here. You can see the generated script here. Okay, after recording the script, okay. Now these are the different options you have, okay, on the menu bar. And the main option here is for today is this one, which will allow us to record a script, and then this one which will allow us to replay the script. Okay, so what are the steps that we are going to record today? What are the steps that we are going to record today? Is I'm going to take a sample application, okay, sample application which we call it as a web tools for now, for today. Uh, this application is given or provided by the Micro Focus itself, who is the vendor of LoadRunner. Okay, so what are the different steps that I'm going to record are: one, I'm going to launch the application; two, I'm going to log into the application; three, I'm going to log out of the application. So these three steps I'm going to record, and then I'm going to replay. Okay, then you will get a clarity like how the script is getting recorded in Vuegen. Okay, so let's do that. Go to Vuegen. There is an icon called record, right? Just click on it. Okay, so again, let me highlight that icon over here. So this is the icon that you have to click. Once you click on it, okay, you'll get a window, a pop-up window where you have multiple options. So for now you can ignore this. Okay, so here you have to choose the browser, like which browser you want to use for recording purpose, like Firefox, Edge, Chrome. Internet Explorer is no longer supported in the newest versions of LoadRunner. Okay, so that's the reason we are not seeing Internet Explorer over here. Okay, by default we have to use Edge or Chrome or Firefox. Okay, uh, so and then here you have to give the URL, the application URL. For example, you are testing, you are working on a project called Isha Training Solutions.com. So that URL you have to provide here. You are working on some other application name that will have some URL, right? Because it's a web application. That URL you have to provide here. So the URL for WebTools sample application is this one. Okay, the HTTP localhost webtours/index.htm. I will be sharing this URL, how to install this software and all those things we'll discuss, in our upcoming sessions later this week. Okay, but for now, this is the URL for the WebTours application, and these things we will discuss later. But the only things that we understood today is the browser, what we have to choose here, and the application URL, what we have to enter here, and then directly click on start recording. Okay, so when I click on start recording, what will happen is this browser will be launched with this given URL. The Mozilla Firefox will be launched with this given URL. Okay, that's what's gonna happen. Now let me click on start recording. Let me click on start recording. See, I clicked on start recording. You will see the browser getting launched. You will see the browser getting launched. Okay, you see the browser getting launched with the given URL. You see that the application launched. Okay, one second, where is my Epic pen? Where did it go? Okay, so here, uh, as soon as I click on start, as soon as I clicked on start recording, the Mozilla Firefox browser launched with this given URL. Okay. Okay, now you are seeing the launch page of that application. Okay, now then immediately you can also see a movable window over here, a movable window over here, and there you see some number which keeps on increasing. If that number keeps on increasing, then it's a good sign that the tool ViewGen is able to record the WebTours application. Okay, that means the tool is able to successfully record your application. It's actually a good sign. Okay, so if the number doesn't increase at all, then there might be some issue. Okay, but if the number increases, okay, like 50, 100, like that, then probably you are good to go. Like means the tool is able to recognize and able to record your application successfully. Okay, that is one point. Then there are different options over here, like stop recording, pause recording, cancel recording. We'll see all those things later, but for now, for today, I'm going to explain you these two. Very important. This icon over here is start transaction. Start transaction. So what do you mean by start transaction? See, I launched the application. What is the next action I'm going to perform? The next action I'm going to perform is login, right? So that means first I have to start the transaction. I have to click on that, give a transaction name to it. Let's say the name is login. Let's say the name is login. Then click on OK. Once you click on OK, automatically this end transaction button will be enabled. You don't have to click on that directly. Okay. Before clicking on that, you have to uh, perform that action. Okay, on the UI. What is the action that you have started? Login. So that action you have to perform on the UI. Okay. Then go ahead and enter the username and password now. Username is Jojo. Okay, and password I entered. Okay, and then clicked on login button. You see, now the application logged in successfully. The application logged in successfully. So here, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to wait for 4 or 5 seconds, and then I'm going to click on this end transaction button. So that means login is done. So I'm going to end it. See, I'm going to end it. Done. Now login action is done. What is the next action I have to perform as per our steps? After login, I have to perform logout. So let's go ahead and start a new transaction called logout. At a new transaction called logout. Click on select enter logout and click on OK. Then go ahead and perform the logout action. How do you perform that? Just click on sign off on the UI. Done. The application logged out successfully. Then what you do, you end that particular transaction here again, logout. That means you are done with logout, so you end it. Okay, we have recorded all the steps: launch, login, logout. Yes. Now stop recording. So this icon over here, the first icon here on the mobile window is for stop recording. Just click on it. So once you click on stop recording, it will generate the script for us. Okay, so directly you will see the recording report here. We'll discuss about it later, but then just click on the next tab beside to it here, the action or this action, whatever it is. When you click on it, you will see the code that got generated. The code that got generated. Okay, the code that got generated. Okay, how many lines of code? Probably some 50 or 60 lines of code got generated. Okay, hope you guys are able to see the script on the UI. What is the code that got generated? Okay, after I click on stop recording. So here, if you observe carefully, line number 33, it says LR underscore start underscore transaction login. Do you guys remember just now, few minutes ago, I started a transaction login on the mobile window, right? That when I do that, this piece of code will get generated. And if you see line number 52, there is something called LR underscore end underscore transaction. This, when I ended the transaction on the mobile window, this piece of code got generated. Now, whatever is there in between start and end, this code is related to the login functionality. That means whatever the username and password you entered and clicked on login button, right? For that particular action, this piece of code got generated. Here you can see the username and password that you passed, the username and password that you passed. So this is for login. Similarly, if you scroll down a little bit, and if you see line number 56, it says LR underscore start underscore transaction, okay, logout. Okay, it says LR underscore start underscore transaction logout. And then if you see line number 68, LR underscore end underscore transaction logout. So whatever the piece of code that you are seeing in between, this piece of code relates to logout, because the transaction is about logout. Here we are starting, here we are ending. So this piece of code relates to logout. So this is logout, and then if you scroll little bit up, this is login. We have start transaction and end transaction for this. If you scroll up little bit before, then what is this request? Can anyone tell what is this request all about? Can anyone tell or anyone guess what is this request all about? Because this request doesn't have a start transaction and end transaction like this. It doesn't have any start transaction or end transaction like this. Okay, this request doesn't have anything. Okay, anyone, can anyone guess what this request could be? For what
Launch
is this
page.
all about? Yes, exactly.
Launching the
So
page.
yeah, launching the page. It's all about launching the page, but we don't have the LR start transaction and LR end transaction, something like this. Okay, I didn't explain you about start transaction, end transaction in detail. I just told you that, you know, it's if this piece of code is coming, that means you are starting the login. So if this piece of code is coming up, that means you are ending the login. Whatever is there in between, that code is related to login part, something like that. Okay. So here for launch, you don't have a start transaction or end transaction. So why we don't have? Because whenever you clicked on record button over here, right, and when you see this window, as soon as you click on start recording, the Firefox browser is launching with the given URL. Then we didn't get chance to start a transaction on the mobile window for launch. Before that itself it is launching, right? That's the reason you don't see the launch, you don't see the start transaction and end transaction for launch. However, you can add it like this: LR underscore start underscore transaction. You can directly write like this. This is just a small example. I didn't explain anything in detail. Okay, so okay, so here launch, you have to write launch like this. Okay, so that means the transaction name what I'm going to perform is launch. The action that I'm going to perform now is launch. Where I have to end, which line I have to end according to this screen, according to the code what you are seeing, where should I write LR underscore end underscore transaction? Which line number I have to write that? Any guess? Where should I write it? After this request only, right? So you can write after line number 31, probably line number 32 or 33, you can write LR underscore end underscore transaction. Okay, LR underscore end underscore transaction you can write. One second. Okay, LR underscore end underscore transaction. So the same transaction name you have to give here. Okay, and then I'm going to write LR underscore auto, which we'll discuss later in the later session. So you see now this code belongs to launch, this code belongs to login. Okay, login, and then this code belongs to logout. So that's how your script will get recorded based on the actions you perform, okay, during recording. These are the actions that I performed during recording, and this is the script which got generated for me. Okay, now if I replay this, let's say I'm going to replay this. Okay, for replaying this script, I have to just click on this run button. If I replay this, let me click on replay. If I click on replay, so what will happen? The launch, login and logout will get executed. The launch, login, and logout will be executed, and it will give us some report, some basic report, where it will tell us, okay, here you see, okay, so obviously script is passed, but then here you see launch has taken 1.711 seconds, login has taken 0.417 seconds, logout has taken 0.278 seconds. So this is the amount of time it has taken for launching the application, for login to the application, for logout of the application. Okay, now you can ask me, sir, okay, what is the max amount of time that we can get here? So this is the this we call it as response time. Response time means when you send a request, okay, when that request, then when that code is going to server, right? Obviously we'll get some response, right? How much time it is taking to get the response? Like how much time it is, you click a link or you click a button, how much time it is taking to get the response back? So that is called response time. Okay, so this is the response time. So now you can ask me, what is the max response time we can accept? Okay, so as per the industry standard, the max response time that we can accept is 2 seconds. But in some project, it can be 3 or 5 or 7 seconds also, depending on the project requirement or project architecture. But if you see as a common standard, 2 seconds is the max. Anything beyond 2 seconds can be related to a performance issue. Okay, can be related to a performance issue. If your project is accepting 3 seconds or 4 seconds also, that's fine. That's fine. But if they don't give any max number, then by default it will be 2 seconds. Anything beyond 2 seconds will be a performance issue. Okay, so you have to keep an eye on these numbers. This is a basic thing that we have to analyze as part of the performance testing. Okay, this is a basic thing. Okay, this relates to the non-performance aspect. We are not testing the functionality. See, when I logged into the application, here, so let's say I want to log in. From the performance testing point of view, I want to log in. So I enter username and password and click on enter button. See, the user logged in successfully. See, but I'm not much interested in this. Obviously, the user will log in. Let's say the user will log in. See, the functional testers will be more interested to know whether the user logged in successfully or not. But the performance tester primarily focuses on uh, not whether the user logged in. That is also a part of it. But the most important thing that we will focus is how much time the user has taken to log in, how much time it has taken to reach to this page. That is important for us. Okay, that is important for us. Okay, so I hope you got some clarity about what this component is doing, what as a performance tester we have to focus, and all these things we will discuss in detail in our upcoming sessions. Like, as part of our course curriculum, we have some sequence to follow, right? So according to that, we will learn each and everything in detail again. So I hope I have given some enough clarity on what is performance testing all about, what is LoadRunner tool all about, how do we simply record and replay the script, and so on. Okay, so in this particular agenda, we have completed what is performance testing, what something about LoadRunner architecture, and then how to record and replay the script. Okay, so now we have some 10 minutes time, right? So without wasting time, I will just move on to LoadRunner course content. Okay, LoadRunner course content. 1 second, guys. Just a moment. I'll just plug in the charger. Sorry for that. Okay, yeah. So we will move on to LoadRunner course content. Please make a note of questions, whatever you have. We will discuss in detail at the end. Okay, after reviewing the course content. But it's not like that in our upcoming sessions, in our normal sessions. Like, you can stop me whenever you want, and you can post all you can ask your questions there then and there itself. but because this is just a demo session, I just want to complete everything in sequence and take all the questions, one by one. So let me go to the course content. Okay, so this is a course content of so where we start from the architecture basics. We understand what is performance testing. We understand the very important aspects here, like the life cycle, what is proof of concept, what are non-functional requirements, how the requirements will come to us. Okay, and how to start our work. See, we know the concepts, tools, and everything, but we know how to start our work, how to kickstart our work, right? If you are assigned to some project, performance testing project, we should know from where to begin the work, right? So that is important. So we will discuss that. No, NFR, test plan, workload modeling, very very important. All these are document based, but very very important. Okay, then we'll jump to the tool. Okay, because these concepts are common for all the tools. Like it's not specific to LoadRunner, it's common to the performance testing. Okay, so even JMeter or whatever the tool you use, these concepts are same. Okay, then we are jumping onto the LoadRunner specific course content here. So how do you install? Okay, what are the different components, how to record, replay, features of Fusion tool. Okay, then the best scripting practices. Of course, we just recorded and replayed, but there are something we have to learn, like the best scripting practices. Okay, so how do you naming conventions, how to use inbuilt functions, multiple actions, how do you debug, how do you record and replay, I mean recording versus replay, what are the different options we have. Okay, and then we will move on to the runtime settings. So these runtime settings are nothing but no, it's the settings which support the execution. So just now I replayed the script, right? So for replaying the script, we need some runtime settings which will support the execution process. So these runtime settings we'll understand. Before this, we will discuss about the recording options also. We have different recording options. We'll discuss that also. Okay, along with runtime settings, and then there are, like, this the very important concept again, HTML versus URL based recording. Then we have checkpoints. Checkpoints are nothing but a kind of assertions. Like you click a link or a button. Uh, we just have to confirm whether we are routing or we are just landing on the correct page or not. So for that we use the concept of checkpoints, a kind of assertion. Okay, kind of validation that we do. Then the other important point, the introduction to C language. Here I would like to add one point. See, most of the participants ask me, sir, is coding required to learn this LoadRunner tool? I will see, if I say no, coding is not required, then I'm wrong. Okay, I don't want to deviate. Okay, I don't want you to understand in a different way. I would say coding is definitely required, but only basics. See, 90% of your scripting doesn't require any coding. Wherever you need to just execute your script in little bit your customized way. Okay, that 10% you have to make changes with your code. Okay, so 90% you no need to do any changes. Okay, so 10% you have to do some small changes, but for that you just need to learn only the basics of C language. Don't think, hey, again are we going to learn the C language? No, it might be complex. No, please don't think in that way. Okay, it's very easy. It's only basics of C language. Okay, we are not going to learn any complex concepts like, pointers or anything like what is that, linked list, tags, queues. No, we're not going to learn all those stuff. Only very basics like variables, data types, how to write if simple if conditions, if statements, loops, select case statements, functions, simple how to write and call a function. Okay, then some inbuilt LoadRunner functions. Okay, and then related to C language also, some C language functions inbuilt, and LoadRunner functions. Okay, and I just mentioned few, but there are so many apart from these. Then for one or two concepts we need little bit of, I don't say advanced also, but there is one concept like where we have to write and read data from file. Okay, for that, we will work on the file system. Like, let's say I want to write all the data to the file, I want to read all the data to the file from the file. Okay, we have to write that. And then we'll also discuss the real-time challenges in scripting, which is important from interview point of view. Generally, if you go to any interview, that's the most frequently asked question, like what are the challenges that you faced while scripting. Okay, so that also we'll discuss. Then very important concept called correlation, especially for the web protocol, whatever the web applications, whatever we are testing. It's that important that if you don't implement this, your script might fail for sure. 99.9% the script might fail if you're not concentrating on this concept in your script. Okay, and if you don't implement this, your script is not valid also, first of all. Okay, if there is a need to implement this, you have to implement, otherwise your script is invalid. Okay, it won't work properly, and your test will become invalid also at the end, right? It's that important. We will discuss for 3 to 4 days, okay, for on this concept. Then you have parameterization. See, parameterization is all about passing the test data to the scripts. Okay, like obviously we have to run the scripts with huge number of users, like let's say 50, 100, whatever it is. Then for those number of users, we need to have enough amount of data, right? Sufficient data. So that we will handle through parameterization. Okay, so we will learn for 3 days on parameterization. And then till here, mostly the scripting part will be completed. Okay, and then after this, actually we will not go to controller. Basically we will practice for on 3 to 4 applications, separate applications. Okay, where we'll understand different challenges. Okay, different types of scripts, sorry, different types of applications, different challenges. Okay, so we will practice scripting on multiple applications here. Then once we master scripting, okay, then we will jump to controller. That means whatever the scripts we develop, end-to-end scripts we develop here, that we will upload to controller, and then learn how to create scenarios, how to execute, how to trigger execution, what are the different options we have. Okay, and all these things as part of the controller. Then after controller, obviously the analysis will come into picture. So in the analysis we will learn different metrics like summary report, 90th percentile, okay, throughput, what is throughput, merging graphs, generating graphs, identifying bottlenecks. So all these things we will understand from the analysis point of view. Okay, because that is very important. At the end of the day, when you, as a performance tester, whatever the analysis you do, that is what client sees, right? The client will look into it, and whatever the result you send across to all the stakeholders, to all the client and everyone, that is important. So your analysis will be very key, very key. Okay, so we cannot make mistakes here in the analysis. Okay, then here, after analyzing the results and providing observations, how to provide observations, how to draft an email with all observations to client. How do you draft an email with all the observations to client? That's what we will learn. Okay, and then obviously this I already told you. Then there is something called virtual table server. Okay, it's also related to parameterization only, but we have a separate session for that. And then we also have interview question and answers. Like, for a couple of days we will discuss about only about interview question and answers. What are the questions they might ask, how you should answer. I will also provide you the a document which contains all the question and answers. Okay, possible question and answers. Okay, and apart from all these, okay, we also discuss these bonus topics in our as part of the course itself. So what is fiddler, har file scripting, APM tools introduction, very important. Monitoring tools, application monitoring tools like AppDynamics, Dynatrace. So we will try and understand how these tools are used in the performance testing space to find out the major bottlenecks or major issues. Okay, nowadays without these tools, I don't see any performance testing project running. Okay, 99% of the projects Nowadays they are using APM tools. Either it could be AppDynamics or Dynatrace, whatever it is, or there could be other tools also, but most widely used tools are AppDynamics and Dynatrace. Okay, we'll try to understand. I'll have one session for AppDynamics, okay, and Dynatrace also. So to understand, like, what are the different metrics we will gather or capture from AppDynamics, okay, and how to present them to client, how to send the reports to client, how to create dashboards, all those things. Then I will explain you what is this Jenkins all about, and how to trigger a local LoadRunner scenario through Jenkins. Because nowadays, if you see, we all are moving to agile, right? I'm not saying it's mandatory to learn, but it's always good to have some idea about what is Jenkins and what for what purpose it is implemented. Okay, and from interview point of view also, it's very important only. That's the reason I'm covering this Jenkins. Okay, I'll tell you a little about GitHub also, a little bit, like what is GitHub and all. Then this one, triggering load runner scenarios from Jenkins. Then there is one more session on true client, which is a different protocol, uh, like like the web protocol, whatever we have chosen, right? It's a different protocol. Basically, from every performance tester, okay, the interviewers expect at least two protocols. So we are anyhow covering web protocol. At the same time, I would like to take one more session on true client protocol, which will definitely you know, give you some advantage, okay, in the interviews. Okay, and where it's a very important protocol also. Then again, little discussion about one session about thread dumps and heap dumps, like what are those thread dumps and heap dumps all about, and all those things. Okay, so why do we use why it is related to performance testing, why do we download these thread dumps and heap dumps, when we should go and download these heap dumps and thread dumps, what are the tools we have to download, and what are the tools we have to analyze these dumps. Okay, all these things. Then there is some other concept called load balancer algorithms discussion. I'll explain you that, okay, in a separate session. Okay, apart from all of these, uh, because not all applications are UI, there might be some web services also, right? So a 3 to 4 hours of recorded sessions of web services will be provided to you. Okay, so those recorded sessions are directly from Kumar sir itself. So we will be providing you these recorded sessions of the web services concepts. Okay, and if you have any doubts, you can reach out to me after going through those 3 or 4 hours of recorded sessions of web services. I can assist you. Okay, that's fine. So these are the different topics that we will be covering as part of the course content. So now I would like to uh, take the questions. Okay, let me check if I have any questions in the chat window. One second. Uh, yes. Any questions? Do you guys have any questions? Like, uh, no, in terms of course content. Okay, some points. Let me tell you. I got it privately. Like, what is the course duration? Course duration. See, course duration is basically, generally we have sessions from Monday to Friday, and generally weekends what I do is sometimes, like when we complete a little bit of scripting, learning little bit of scripting. So like sometimes Saturday or Sunday I'll take some additional session to clear all your doubts, scripting doubts, you know, all those things. But generally the regular sessions are from Monday to Friday, same time, 8 a.m. IST to 9 a.m. IST. And there will be around 40 sessions. Okay, it depends. I mean, some batches, you know, I have 45 sessions also. Um, it depends. The reason why I'm saying it depends is, for some sessions, the interview questions generally we discuss for 2 days. So in some batches, what happens is we discuss for 3 or 4 days also. Okay, because the participants keep on asking more questions. They gather from outside. Okay, they might have heard somewhere. Okay, so we increase the number of sessions for them. Okay, so for covering all these concepts, minimum, I mean, definitely it will take 40 sessions. Okay, so I cannot say 30 and I cannot wind it up. Okay, I have to explain you in detail, because once you complete this course, at least you should have some good amount of knowledge to at least attend the interviews. So that's the reason. So 40 sessions are must actually. So those 40 sessions, okay. So Monday to Friday. So if you guys are okay at the end, right? Probably like like for those bonus topics and all, we can take some additional sessions on weekends also if you want to wind the course little bit early or something like that. With your approval, I can do it. Okay. NS, no need of any server. The analysis component what we get from the LoadRunner tool is sufficient enough to provide the detailed analysis. Okay, at least to identify the initial bottlenecks or initial issues. There is no specific server required. Once you install, the analysis will be there by default. Yes, Sapan, we are going to include the advanced level scripting, and trust me, after completing this course, if you go back to any of the project, right, I'm 100% sure you will not have any issues with respect to scripting. I can guarantee that. Okay, you can write your own customized code. Okay, if you go back to your project, you can handle the code. You can go back, you can practice or whatever. I mean, you can write any level of code. That should be fine. NS, yes. I mean, from learning perspective, yes. All three you can connect from desktop. Yes. Mohammed, when I say advanced scripting, see just now we recorded the script, right? Where we recorded three steps like launch, login, logout. We didn't do much. We just replayed it. I mean, we didn't have anything to customize, right? But then there might be some situations where we need to write some customized code. Okay, so for that you need to use the C language concepts. Okay, like the C language concepts what we discussed here, like the variables, data types, loops, select case statements or functions, or then writing this data to file, reading data from file. Okay, and or using these inbuilt functions here, whatever you have, using these inbuilt functions along with the C language basics. Okay, is about writing advanced code. Okay, advanced piece of code, like handling different requests. Handling different requests is also a part of advanced scripting. Mohammed, I'll tell you how to create a method and call a method. Yes, I can tell you. See, basically, I'm not sure. I mean, what's your background? Like, are you guys, are you coming from manual testing or something like that? But generally, if you see, if you know a little bit about function, right? So function is something um which we write to execute a piece of code. Like if you want to repeatedly execute a piece of code, you generally add it into the function and you can call it again and again. Okay, so let's say you want to add two numbers. Okay, so the generic function, okay, the generic function I can write, which will accept two numbers, any two numbers. It will add them and it will return that result. So you can write a generic function for that. I'm just telling you an example. And you can call that function, right? First time you can call that function by passing 10 comma 10. It will that function will add 10 plus 10 and it will return 20. Again, you can call that function with 10 and 20. It will add 10 plus 20 and it will return 30. So that's how it is. You can keep on writing generic functions like depending on your requirement, and you can call them. Okay. Uh, so the concept is same. Writing a function, calling a function, concept is same. We will discuss that. No, both are same. Function and method both are same. Function and method both are same. Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, I'm somehow confused because you're saying functions and method are the same.
Yeah, they both are same. They both serve the same purpose, right? They both serve the same purpose. So whatever the piece of code you have it in function or method, they will be executed when you call it. So they both serve the same purpose. So you have three statements. Let's say you have three statements in a function or a method, whatever it is. Obviously, you call it. When you call it with that function name or method name, those three statements will get executed, right? So in a way, the functions and methods are same. Okay, there is no difference. So some people use the term function, some people use the term method. Okay, I mean even we use the term interchangeably, during the course. Sometimes I might use function, sometimes I might use method. Okay, both will do the same purpose. NS, are you going to give notes to prepare for interview? See, basically, I will give you the interview question and answers, see, a document. See, I'm basically uh, I have this interview question and answers document which I prepared. I keep on adding questions. I will share this document with you guys. And generally during the course, I mean during the daily discussions. So this is the LoadRunner interview questions document which I prepared. Question and answer. Question and answer. Okay, if there is any follow-up question, for example, you see there is a question over here, you have to tell all these things in the interview. Then they might ask you a possible follow-up question. They might ask you that, for that also I have mentioned some answer. Okay, like that, everything is documented by me. Okay, this is prepared by me. Okay, so all the possible question and answers, including like practical scripting level questions also I'm adding here. So analysis questions, whatever it is. So it will definitely help you before you attend any interview. Okay, I'll keep on adding. It's not like these are only some of the questions or these are the only questions. Like I keep on adding to it. Whenever I see any new question, I'll keep on adding. I'll send you the updated document at the end. Okay, so daily when we discuss any concept, right? So the points whatever we discuss, right, I keep on adding them in the notepad like this. So let's say, let me tell you, for example, let's say yesterday we had one session. So okay, so in yesterday's session we were discussing some concept, so I keep on adding some notes like this. So after this session I will share these notes to you guys in the WhatsApp group itself directly. Okay, and then at the end I will give you the document, interview question and answers document. Okay. uh, One second. Arati, the API or web services recorded sessions will be given to you. Recorded sessions will be given to you. Like it's a 3 to 4 hours of recorded sessions which will be given to you. Okay, so you can just go through that recorded sessions for the web services. If you have any doubts, you can reach out to me. No, I can assist you for sure. Okay, one second. Um, okay, so will you be integrating those APM tools? See, integration in live is not possible because integration part we won't do. In your real-time projects also, you won't integrate AppDynamics to the tool or something like that. We don't do that. Okay, in your real-time projects also we don't do. The AppDynamics team, let's say you are working on APM tool called AppDynamics. The AppDynamics team itself will configure the AppDynamics tool agent in the application server. That is the task of the development team and the AppDynamics team together. It is not related to the performance testing team. First, second thing, what I'm going to explain in the APM tool is, as part of the APM session is, see, I have a sample application for which we have a script, right? And that application server is already hooked up with the APM tool like AppDynamics. So what I'm going to tell you is, I'm going to run a load test like 10 with 10 users or something like that. And then when I run the load test for on that application, obviously the load will be applied on that application server, right? So when the load will be applied on the application server, Okay, I'll just tell you, I'll just launch the AppDynamics. I'll show you what are the different metrics that we can capture. Okay, when the test is running itself during the same time, I'll go to AppDynamics. I'll show you how the metrics are coming in APM tool AppDynamics, how the metrics are coming, what are the different metrics we have to capture. Okay, and how do we create dashboards with all different graphs. All those things I will explain you. Okay, so at same time I will initiate a load test, same time I'll show you like how those numbers are getting reflected in AppDynamics. Okay, so that I will tell you in the APM session. It is very important from the interview point of view. The linking of APM tool to an application server is not the task of performance tester, any project. Okay, 1 second. Okay, any other questions? Any other questions, guys? I think I answered all of your questions. If there are any other questions, do let me know. Okay. Uh, are we discussing other protocols or only HTTP, HTTPS? We will be primarily focusing on HTTP, HTTPS, and then we have a separate session for True Client Protocol also. And then we are anyways giving web services recorded sessions. So these are the protocols that we will be covering as part of this course. So if you go to any interview, they will expect to at least two protocols, in your resume. So you can keep HTTP, HTTPS protocol, that's the web protocol, True Client Protocol, and the web services also. All these three you can keep it in your resume. Okay. Okay. So any other questions? Can you just ask questions directly from now on? I'm just unable to launch that chat window again. Can you guys post the questions directly? I mean, ask questions directly. I can. I know I still have some time, like 5 minutes or so. Request you to clarify all your doubts. Okay. So hope I answered all the questions. Uh,
Oh,
1 second.
excuse me.
Okay. Yeah, Avnish, tell me.
May I know how far the LoadRunner and how far the performance monitoring tools, the entries and AppDynamics which we cover in this course?
Sorry. Sorry. Actually, there was a huge noise. There was a disturbance at the end. Can you please ask the question again?
Uh, the performance monitoring tools, AppDynamics, Dynatrace also mentioned in the course title. So how
Mhm.
extent we will cover these two monitoring tools?
Okay. So generally, as part of our performance testing work activities in our real-time projects, right? So the the main important things that we work on APM tools are from the analysis point of view, because LoadRunner analysis tool will give you some metrics. Okay, like what are the transactions which are getting high response times and all those things. But apart from that, we might have to monitor some server side metrics like heap utilization, CPU utilization, memory utilization, like calls per minute. Okay. uh, then slow SQL queries, any slow SQL queries, any errors or any exceptions. Okay. So so what are these are the metrics that we generally capture from APM tool as part of a performance testing. Any performance tester will capture only these metrics. Okay, so our focus will be on what are the metrics that we have to capture from APM tool. Okay, which we have to add it in the observations report again. So whatever the APM metrics we are capturing, right, we have to add it into the email, okay, which we will be sending it to client. So those metrics, whatever we capture from APM tool, whatever we have to capture from APM tool, those things we will concentrate. Along with that, we will also discuss about how to create a dashboard, okay, how to create a default dashboard and send it to the development team, okay. So those things we will discuss.
As you mentioned in our course structure, 40 sessions for the load on our entire course session. So out of these 40 sessions, how many sessions will be allotted for the monitoring tools? May I know?
Monitoring sessions will be two. I mean, analysis and monitoring sessions, it will be like 6-7 sessions. And the interview, I mean, and the, we also have some sessions which also part of interview questions, because as part of interview questions we will have to discuss the analysis questions also, right? Again, so again APM questions also we have to discuss, right? So it will be covered here and there again, I mean, included in the interview questions and analysis separately.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, so let me check if I have any other questions. Mohammed, see, I can assist, in getting assist in sense, in gaining knowledge. From gaining knowledge perspective, I can definitely assist you, because I know, I mean, how a fresher thinks. So what I can do is, uh, generally, especially for the guys coming from non-IT, okay. Generally, what I do is, I take one additional session for them, like 1 hour or something like that, just to make them, understand the terms and terminologies of the performance testing. See, guys coming from automation or manual testing or some other thing, or coming from IT, they understand the terms and terminologies or how the project works. So guys coming from non-IT or a fresher, right? So they just have to understand like how the project works, right? So that is one aspect. And other than that, the terms and terminologies as part of performance testing. Okay. So for this, I will take one session over the weekend, just to make them familiar with the terms and terminologies. That thing I can take it, and then I'm always available on WhatsApp. Okay. So if you have any questions, like let's say we started some topics practice, you got stuck. Okay. Actually, we have we have a team member in sense, we have Anita ma'am who will be supporting in fixing your scripting issues and all those things. She will be available from morning to evening. Okay. You can ping in the WhatsApp group. She will touch base with you and get the issues fixed. Okay, your scripting issues. If the scripting issues are not fixed, okay, then I will connect with you one to one and help you guys to fix your scripting issues. Okay, so I'll be available on WhatsApp always. So if you ping me on that particular day, I will reach out to you. By end of the day, I'll just ask for your time, and we'll connect and get it solved. So that's how it works. So anything else? Okay. So if you have any further questions, right, please do reach out to me on WhatsApp. I'm there on the WhatsApp group, right? Or you can ping directly in the WhatsApp group. I'll be happy to respond, okay, as soon as possible. So thank you all. I hope I answered all the questions. There are no more questions. I just checked it. So thank you everyone for attending this demo, and I hope I answered all of your questions. And I hope to see all of you in the upcoming sessions also. So thank you once again, and have a great rest of the day.